Hello, algebra class. This is a review of all the statistics we've done so far. We still have one more thing to do before we finish, but all of the stuff that will be on the test for Thursday. But Lucas did tell me that you brought in more than 40 bottles of peanut butter, so I think I owe you something, so here it is. Are you gonna know? I think that's probably enough for me. Alright, so you should have the statistics review handout. It's got pretty much all the facts you need to know. So let's just read through it. There's a little typo here. This should be a bullet. Oops. This should be a bullet, and that should be number 2. Okay, 2 kinds of statistics. They are measures of center, the median, which is the middle number if the data is written down in order, and the mean, which is our average when you add all the data and you divide by the number of points. And then the second kind of statistics is measures of spread. They're things like the range, which is the difference between the highest and the lowest value, an interquartile range, the difference between the first and third quartile in a box and whisker plot. Other measures of spread are variance and standard deviation. So we also learned about 5 number summaries. When you have a list of numbers, a set of data points, the minimum is the smallest value, the maximum is the largest value, the median is the middle value when the data is placed in order. There's a slight difference if you have an even number of data points or an odd number of data points. Hang on, let me find my pencil. I'm just like you guys. I don't have my pencil. Here we go. Okay, so say we have 3, 3, 4, 5, 7, 7, 2, 6. Okay, and I want to find the median. The median is the one right in the middle. So I'll find the middle of 6 data points is halfway between the third and the fourth. So the median here is 4.5. Now it would have been much easier if I'd had, say, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 7, 7. Okay, now I have 7 data points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the median is the 4. Okay, then the lower quartile is the middle of the bottom, so the bottom half of the data is 3, 3, 4. So here's quartile 1, here's quartile 3, the middle of the top 3 pieces, and this is the median. Here's the minimum, and here's the max. The same thing happens. Here I had 3 numbers in my upper half, so the second number was the median. But if I had, say, 4 was the median, and then I had a 5, and a 6, and a 7, and a 7, and say 2, and a 3, and a 3, and a 4. To find my quartiles, they would have been halfway through the bottom, halfway through the top. So this quartile would have been 3, because halfway between 3 and 3 is 3. Halfway between 6 and 7 is 6.5. So it's slightly different if you have an odd number of data points or an even number of data points. All right. Then to make a box and whisker plot, you mark the 5 numbers with in the 5-number summary with vertical lines along a number line, evenly spaced. Draw a box around the middle 3 numbers. Draw a belt at the median, and you connect the minimum and the maximum to the box with lines. These are the whiskers. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to look at an example. This is from an SOL test. It says, these box and whisker plots summarize the percent of the workforce employed in agriculture, I'm going to call that A, industry, I, and service jobs in 20 towns. So this is the distribution of workforce in agriculture, industry is this middle picture, and service. And before we look at the question, let's just pause the video and let's label all of these things from low, medium, and high. Who's got the lowest minimum? Who's got the lowest first quartile, lowest median, etc., etc. Okay, so who's got the lowest minimum? The minimum is the bottom, the lowest, the one that goes furthest back. So it looks to me like agriculture has the lowest. Okay, the medium minimum, in order, the next minimum is the service industry. They're the fewest service people, and then industry. Now, I'd like you to do the same thing. Just figure out low, medium, high for all of these, what do you call them? All of these factors. Who's quartile 1, the medians, the third quartile, the maximum, the interquartile range, and then the overall range. And pause it and come back to it, and then I'll show you how to do it. Okay, the lowest first quartile, well, that's the bottom of the box. So the agriculture bottom of the box is the lowest. The bottom of the box for service is second, and industry is the lowest. The bottom of the box is at the highest number. The medians, again, agriculture, service, industry. Boy, not so interesting. Okay, quartile 3, that's the top of the box. So again, agriculture is the lowest, service, industry, and the max, the lowest, is service. The middle max, that's the top of the whisker, is industry, and the highest max is agriculture. Alright, interquartile range. That means who has the widest box. The widest box is the biggest interquartile range, because the interquartile range is the distance from quartile 1 to quartile 3. So, agriculture looks like the biggest to me. The widest box. And industry is the medium box width, and service is the narrowest box. And then the range is which picture has the longest from end to end. Of course, it would help if I had a ruler here. I'm unprepared. You better mark me down. So here's agriculture's. That's longer than industry and longer than service. So agriculture has the biggest range. Then these are kind of close, it's hard to tell. Industry is this long. So industry is the middle one, and service is the shortest. So now let's answer the question, which statement is not true? Industry has the greatest median. Well, does industry have the greatest median? Yes. Service has the range with least value. Service has the range that's least. Yes. Agriculture has the range with greatest value. Yes. And industry has the interquartile range with the least value. Well, no. Industry's box is a bit wider than service. Another box and whisker SL question. Katie recorded the number of miles she drove for each of 9 days. She drove a different number of miles each day. This plot summarizes her information. So she drove between 10 and 80 miles. The median number of miles driven was 30. Lower quartile was about 25, and the upper quartile 3, was about 40. So then they say she drove 30 miles on each of 2 additional days. She redrew the box and whisker plot to include this data. So what we originally had was 9 data points, starting at 10, ending at 80. The middle one was 30, and the middle of the middle was 25, and the bottom and 40 on the top. So now what we've done is we have not just 9 spots, but 11 spots. The lowest still 10 and the highest still 80. Your middle is 30, but they're going to be more 30s. So it's still going to stay in the middle. Let's look at the options. Which statement must be true? Did the range decrease? Well, the range is the difference between top and bottom. So it's the same, so that's not. The value of the mean remained the same. You have no idea about mean because it's a box and whisker plot. Box and whisker plots only give you information about the 5 numbers in our 5-number summary. The value of the median remained the same. Yep, it sure looks like it because the numbers that we added were the same as the mean. And the value of the interquartile range increased? No, we don't know exactly what is going to happen to the interquartile range. So that's our answer, C. It's definitely C. All right, so now we're going to look at calculating variance and standard deviation. Easiest to do with a table or using your calculator. You find the mean of the data, find the difference of each data point in the mean, square the difference, add up all of the squares, blah, blah, blah. We've done this in class before. So let's take a data set and calculate variance. For example, okay, let's look at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. First we find the mean. And to find the mean, add them up, and you divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So your mean would be 18 plus 19 plus 20 plus 21 plus 22. Add them up and divide by 5. Either if you're going to add and divide by 5 all at once, you need to put parentheses around your sum. Okay, so now we're going to take the difference between the mean and each data point. Okay, difference this is it's x minus mu. So the mean is mu, and the data points are x. Okay, so the difference between 18 and 20 is minus 2. Difference between 19 and 20 is minus 1. The difference between 20 and 20 is 0. 21 and 20 is 1. 22 and 20 is 2. Then we square these. So this number squared, every number squared is positive. So negative 2 squared is negative 2 times negative 2, which is positive 4. 1, 0, 1, 4. Then we add up all these numbers. So that equals, so sum of x minus mu squared. I know Jack is saying, this looks like Greek to me. It's not. Okay, so this, and when I add up those differences, it's 10. I'm going to divide it by n, which is the number of data points. N is 5, sorry, 5. So the sum of the square of the difference is 2. That's called the variance. And my standard deviation, and we don't like to write such long things, so we use the symbol sigma, is the square root of 2, which is 1.414. It's very easy to do this on your calculator. I'll show you how. And it's on, the instructions are on your page too. So you go stat, edit, and you put the data points in list 1. So I'm going to go to list 1, and I'm going to go up to highlight L1, and I'm going to clear it. There it is, cleared. Now often when you do that, you press delete by accident. You see the list disappeared, and then you're like, oh, I don't have a list 1. The way to fix that is to go second, memory, reset, all RAM, reset it. They're going to say, be careful. Yeah, now look, stat, edit, list 2 is there again. Okay, so I'm putting all my data in there, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. All my data is in. Now I go stat, go across to calc. I'm going to calculate for one variable statistics. Enter. Okay, x bar is the average. I don't think you can see this. Is 20. The sum of the numbers is 100. But here is sigma s 1.414, standard deviation. That's where you get it. Okay. All right. Okay, so there's a test on this material on Thursday. More practice on box and whisker plots on the 8th grade IXL, AA13, BB5, and on algebra KK1 and KK2, and more practice on other statistics. IXL, if you go to the 8th grade, it's BB1 to 4, and IXL algebra KK1 and 2. I've also got some problems for you to do, and yeah, work at it, and then we'll have a quiz, next time you come. Thank you.